Shut-ins rejoice. The Lonnie Walker era is upon us. Lonnie got his first start against the Milwaukee Bucks. It wasn't his best game. He shot 3 of 12, but he played some darn good defense. And that's why he's going to keep playing in the starting lineup for the Spurs, I think. I'm very excited about that. I know you guys are very excited about that. I have an extra one of these shirts that I want to give away to one of you. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button somewhere over here, and I'm going to pick one of you. But yeah, Lonnie's in the starting lineup now, and Bryn Forbes is not. And both of those things are really, really exciting. So let's check out the tape.
Lonnie played 21 minutes in the game against OKC, and he looked really crisp. Here he is knocking down a three off a two-man game with Derek White. Those two play really, really well together. Here he runs pick and roll with Aldridge, gets a switch on the big man, pulls up for a jumper, swish. We saw him do this a lot in Summer League. Even when he doesn't get the layup to go, you have to love the way he attacks the rim with purpose. This play right here is perfect Lonnie Walker. He gets out sprinting in transition, cuts between two guys, and finishes a ridiculous circus layup. It might have looked like he was a bit out of control, but take a look at this again. Slow motion. Gets hit on the arm there. He's not even looking at the basket here. And he releases this ball right as he's about to hit the ground. Lonnie is such an explosive jumper that it really gives him an opportunity to make decisions while he's just floating through the air. Pretty good decisions with his feet firmly planted too. His shot selection is good, even if the shot doesn't go all the time. It's good to see him attempt that open catch-and-shoot three with confidence. He's about 36% from deep this year, which is league average. Still, the most fun part of Lonnie Walker's game is when he's attacking the basket, jumping really high. This one probably would have been an awesome finger roll if he didn't jump his nuts into 7-foot-tall Jakob Poeltl's shoulder. Took a nasty spill there, but got up, stayed in the game, and hit this shot a couple minutes later. Lonnie's skill and potential as an offensive player is very clear, but the thing that he's bringing to this San Antonio Spurs starting lineup that it's been lacking is defense. He has a very good ability to stay in front. He plays good help defense, he contests well, he runs guys off the line. He does a little bit of everything on this end of the floor too. He can stay in front when they put him through screens. He's a tenacious defender. He's got that dog in him. He put up a career-high 7 rebounds in the OKC game, and every defensive rebound that he gets turns into a transition break for the Spurs. That's just how he operates. Look at how high he jumps in the air for this rebound. He's going to hit his head on the backboard one day. Lonnie does a lot of things on the court that are exciting, but the one thing that's going to excite Greg Popovich the most is playing dependable defense on the wing, and that's something that he's shown he's capable of doing. In the first start of his NBA career, Pop had Lonnie guard Chris Middleton, who was an all-star last year. And Lonnie did a really good job, especially out of the gate. He stayed in front. He didn't give Middleton anything easy. Starting a guy like Lonnie who can guard the other team's best wing player is great for that matchup, but it's also great for DeMar DeRozan, who doesn't have to guard that guy and can hide on a guy like, say, Wes Matthews. Lonnie's pesky, he's feisty, he's got quick hands, active feet. He does all the little things on defense that tell you that he has what it takes to be a pretty elite defender in this league. He just turned 21, so he's going to make some mistakes. Here he sags off of Bledsoe, who was having a great shooting night. Bledsoe drains a shot. Here he can't get over the screen by Giannis, gives up a 3 to Korver, but still gets in to contest a shot. It's just not enough. He can afford to go under a lot of screens because he has those long arms and can still get in to contest effectively a lot of the time. All in all, he had a really good defensive game in his first start, and that's why he's probably going to stay in the starting lineup. Lonnie's defense makes his off-shooting nights a little more forgivable. He only shot 3 of 12 from this game, and Brook Lopez had a lot to do with it. Brook Lopez blocked 7 shots in this game total, took a few buckets and a few assists away from Lonnie Walker. Sometimes you run into a shot blocker like Lopez who's just on one, but Lonnie has demonstrated a much better ability recently to understand when he needs to turn it on, when he needs to slow down a little bit, maybe settle for that outside shot. In Summer League, he feasted on these switches with big men shooting mid-range jumpers, and he'll probably do that a little bit more as he gets more comfortable taking shots like that in this Spurs offense. He's still working on his ability to slow things down, but you can always trust him to speed things up in transition and get to the rim before pretty much anybody else. There's still times when he forces it. Here, he should probably just shoot that 3 this late in the shot clock. He definitely still has some learning to do, but his decision-making should improve as he makes more decisions as he plays more. That's something that's just going to have to happen with young players. It's the only way to get rid of growing pains is to learn and grow. It's been a long wait for Lonnie and for Spurs fans, but it finally seems like Pop is willing to live with his mistakes as he plays with the starting lineup and as he gets more comfortable out there. Even with the mistakes that he made, even with the shots that he missed, Lonnie had a good game, and a lot of it didn't show up in the stat sheet. He had a bunch of really good passes in this game that he got no credit for in the box score. Here, attacks the closeout, drives the lane, dumps it off to LA, who gets blocked by Brook Lopez. Here, DeMar gets blocked by Brook Lopez. DeMar kicks out to Lonnie Walker, who drives, finds DeMar with a sick pass. Look at this. Look where he picks the ball up. That's a no-look hook pass. And it gets blocked by Brook Lopez. Here, he crosses up Giannis, fights through the contact, hangs in the air for that dump-off pass to Trey Lyles, who gets fouled by Brook Lopez. Look at this again. Giannis reaches right there. Lonnie crosses over between his legs. That's contact. He gets through it. And look at how long he's hanging in the air for up here, not looking at Trey Lyles, but knowing exactly where he is. That's Magic Johnson-esque. Like, that's just beautiful stuff. This is his only assist of the game, and it's on the most pedestrian pass of the game. Late in the game here, he breaks up this pick and roll. Spurs desperate to get back in it. On this transition drive, he's staring down Lyles, but he wants Bryn. Little miscommunication there. Bryn Forbes started all but one game for the Spurs last year, mainly due to injuries to other guys, and he played pretty well for what he can do. This year, however, has been a different story. Bryn is the kind of guy whose only NBA skill is shooting, and this year he's shooting the 3 pretty much at league average. In this Oklahoma City game, he shot 1 of 7 from deep, 1 of 9 total for the game. He has minimal ability to attack the rim. He has minimal ability to create his own shot or create shots for other players. All he is in there to do is knock down outside shots, provide spacing. And this year, he hasn't done it at a rate that justifies all of his lapses on defense. If you're a one-dimensional player who's a starter in the NBA, you have to be dominant in that one dimension. You have to be elite. And he just has not been that this year. For as much as Greg Popovich talks about how much he cares about defense and how much he finds threes annoying and boring, it's kind of crazy that Bryn Forbes has played the 3rd most minutes out of anybody on the Spurs roster, the most out of anybody not named DeMar and LaMarcus. That's pretty nuts. Bryn Forbes has come a long way in his life. He's a great story, undrafted player. But I mean, my God, he can't play a lick of defense. Look at this move by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, just roasting him. That's a good play by a good player, but that's just terrible defense by Bryn Forbes. And it wasn't just the Oklahoma City game. Pretty much every game that he has played this year, he's been a liability on defense. And in some of the games against good coaches, those good coaches have targeted him relentlessly. DeMar DeRozan has his own struggles on defense, and when you pair him with Bryn Forbes on that end, it becomes very difficult to get stops. It's hard to overstate how much of an upgrade Lonnie Walker is in the starting lineup over this defense. However, this change created a new problem for the Spurs rotation. Bryn has to get his minutes somewhere, and when he's coming off the bench, especially in this Milwaukee game with DeJounte Murray out, he was getting a lot of his minutes with Patty Mills and Marco Bellinelli. As you can imagine, running out a lineup with 3 of your worst perimeter defenders is not going to go so great. In this upcoming game, DeJounte Murray's back, so Derek White is sliding back to his spot at point guard of the second unit. But still, if you have to run Patty Mills and Bryn Forbes out there together, it's not going to be so great defensively. So the Spurs still have some kinks to work out. Hopefully, Marco Bellinelli goes back to espresso duty. He's been getting pretty much no minutes in the games recently when Lonnie Walker has been playing heavy minutes. So that's something that I think a lot of Spurs fans have been hoping to see for most of the year that they have spent watching Marco Bellinelli. But Bryn Forbes playing defense, whether he's on the starting lineup or off the bench, has not been good all year. The disparity in this first Bucks game was pretty striking between the Spurs' first unit and second unit. The starting lineup played 12 minutes together, had a net rating of plus 32, defensive rating in the 80s. The bench unit, defensive rating of 144 in this game. It did not go well at all. The Spurs might have been able to sneak away with a win against the best team in the league in their home arena if the lineup had been a little bit tighter.
Hopefully, we're just going to keep seeing more of Lonnie Walker in that starting lineup doing what he can do. And I'm excited to see the rest of his development, and I'm excited to see how Pop manages the rotation for the rest of the year. Maybe excited isn't the right word, but however it goes, I'll have videos for you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Spurs go.